when you guys won Zurich when we went back. You guys had the bibs on still at midnight. People jumping off the roof.
Jumping
into the intercoastal.
The roof of what?
The roof of Cam's dock.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in New Orleans somewhere.
No. We flew home that night.
No, they were back at like 7 p.m. It was like 20 minutes of media straight on a plane back.
We're lucky enough to fly with Cam a fair bit on the old private jets, and we flew there on the Tuesday morning.
You lucky dogs.
And
you both got like two of the best gigs ever.
We flew there on the Tuesday morning.
Possibly the two best.
We said to Cam, if you boys win this week, me and Matty will pay for the flight back.
No, you did.
We still never.
We
have.
still haven't paid. And we're still not gonna pay.
He brings it up every time.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Straight Down the Middle-ish. I'm sitting in the hot seat, the host seat. Scott Riley's sitting out for a minute because we have two guests today, two special guests, two of our dear friends, what you would actually now veteran caddies.
Veterans.
Definitely.
100% veterans, dude.
Well over 10 years caddying. Sam Pinfold, who caddies for Cameron Smith, and Matthew Kelly, who caddies for Marc Leishman.
Yes.
Welcome.
Cheers, boys.
That's great to have you guys
Thank
on.
you.
Isn't that crazy to be called veterans? But you are.
Yeah, we're old. Yeah.
And
it does feel a bit weird, but yeah, we've been doing it.
You guys are both pretty unique as well. Like you
different paths too, right? Matty, you probably just holiday with Leish.
Pretty much, yeah. It's funny actually because Sam and I's my first week or my second week was his first or whatever.
What year is this?
2008.
Yeah.
Nationwide. But yeah, I come over caddying for Marc as he needed a caddy, but he needed probably a friend more, and then that's how I got into it. And then I loved it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was decent enough at golf to quickly learn it, but got to the end of the year and I'm like, I want to keep going. This is good. This is fun. So yeah, that's how I got started. And lucky enough for me that Marc got his tour card 6 months later.
So you were buddies with Marc growing up?
Yeah, Marc and I grew up in a small town. At the time we were growing up there, the population was 25,000-ish. So as far as junior golf goes, there was 6 or 7 of us. And he lived on one side of the course, I lived on the other. And yeah, we just meet after school. School finished at 3:30. By 4 o'clock, you're on the first tee and you just play till dark.
You're a couple of years younger than Leish?
2 years younger, yeah.
And Warrnambool's about 2.5, 3 hours southwest of Melbourne.
Exactly, yeah. It's
on the Great Ocean Road.
3-hour drive straight down the Great Ocean Road. Depending on the time of year, if there's tourists around, it might take you 5 hours. If there's not,
we'll jam up in Torquay.
But yeah, that's how I got into it, and yeah.
Sam, how did Cam Smith fall into your lap? Take us to how you got there,
mate.
Pinner's journey's great.
Yeah,
this is great.
I grew up.
It's a lot better than mine.
No, but not
different than mine.
Yeah,
I grew up playing golf in New Zealand and was decent, but never quite going to turn pro. And a good mate of mine, Brad Isles, was one of my best mates, and he got a nationwide tour card in 2008, and basically said, "You want to come over for 3 or 4 weeks in caddy?" I booked about a 3-month trip. And ended up doing the whole year on a couple of different sort of trips. And like Matty said there, I think our first one was it Athens or maybe Virginia? And
because mine was Athens, so it must have been.
Yeah, Virginia.
Wow, what a week to start.
Yeah.
Athens, Georgia.
And
nothing to do in Athens, Georgia.
Hello world.
In April.
The boys actually got paired together, and Leish and I actually knew Leish from amateur golf, and we were the pair together the first 2 rounds, and I remember getting to the end of the first day and thinking, don't think much of Leish's caddy, didn't say much or whatever. And
hand job.
Here
Most people think the same thing. It's fine.
15 years later, we've been best mates for about 14 and a half of them. So it's been a long road. But then worked for Olsey for about 4 years on the nationwide tour. Then really had a big step up in job. I went to work for a guy called Aaron Price.
Wow.
The highs and the lows. Cameron Smith.
And worked for Price for about a year, 15 months, and then sort of jumped on to, I wanted to try and work on the PGA Tour where Matty, another good mate of ours, Joe Scorin, we'd been working for a while, and hopped around there for, a good 18 months, 2 years with different guys, and managed to meet Cam in the New Zealand Open in 2014.
Yeah.
And then probably about 12 months later, he broke through in the States and gave me the call to start full time, and been going ever since. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah. So were you on the bag for Cam, like when he kind of came on my radar at the CIMB over there in Malaysia. Were you on the bag for that first good week he had over there?
I wasn't. That was his coach.
Okay.
I was at the same event working for Trevor Ullman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
God, Brad Isles, man.
Legend.
What a legend. He's
The
one of those
man.
guys that you hear his name and you
He's the
just start
best.
smiling.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a sweet swing too. That
Ah,
was
Beautiful
something.
human,
A
too.
model swing.
God,
I love that guy.
lucky dog. He had it all. He
Speaking
really
of that,
did.
the Great Poulos is in Queenstown this week with Lyndall. I know Ozzy's not there, but we had
Favorite
some great
place you,
times down
you guys
there.
have both been?
Favorite place?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's.
He said Queenstown. That's mine.
Yeah, I remember I caddied. I think must be the same event, the New Zealand PGA in Queenstown, and I said to myself, doesn't matter who I marry or whatever, I am honeymooning here.
Really?
It was and then
Yeah.
4 years later we did, but yeah, that's my favorite place.
Bangkok for you?
No,
No.
don't be silly. I would.
One night in Bangkok and the world's your oyster.
I mean, Queenstown's the first event where I actually ended up caddying for Cam, so it's turned out pretty good. So yeah, I'll maybe chime in there too.
Pretty
place.
close to home too. You obviously Matty's home now is Jacksonville. You'd say your second home is Jacksonville. Your first home is Wellington, New Zealand.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Paparan Beach
Yeah,
up on the coast.
never been there. I can't wait. I'm going February. I think.
Actually,
Another golf
I'm
trip.
I'm going to stay with him for a couple of days after the Aussie Open this year. Just
Wait,
booked it yesterday.
How long are you going
So good.
for?
I'll be heading home from leaving Jack's about the end of October, and I'll be probably coming back here early February.
Oh, wow.
So-
So a nice chunk.
Yeah,
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
I want to go. I want to go next time you go over, man.
Well, February 19 to 28. Meeting Poulos. We're playing Tara Edie,
This guy.
Cowrie
Oh.
Cliffs.
He plays more golf than he
It's
did when he was on
unbelievable.
tour.
He's-
Just this year, I'm back. I didn't play for like 3 or 4 years. I'm catching up.
You're playing. He'll like text the group thread or myself and be like, 63 today. And I'm like, you cannot send these texts and not sign up for Q School.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear how good your golf is.
There was only 2 good rounds, and there's been like 4 years of shit. So there were 2 good rounds. One was like basically a muni.
You are swinging it nice. So I've seen some of those. So he feels good
that
about it.
work,
He's
you
putting
know.
it on Instagram.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I've been trying to keep it off because some of the real estate clients don't want to know I'm in different cities, but I still get my work done.
Yeah. All right.
But-
So both of you guys made it pretty. You're not on the tour anymore because you both of you guys went to live, but both of you have been with him forever. Matty, his whole career. What? Okay, compared to how you're treated now on the live, do you feel like you were was anything unfair for you guys on the tour? Did it open your eyes a little bit on the live?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say anything bad about the PGA Tour.
Okay.
As caddies, I always felt that my boss was Cameron Smith. The way Cameron Smith treated me was all that mattered. I was paid by him. I worked for him. If the tour provided a great parking spot or a great lunch, that was a bonus.
Yeah.
Anything like that. I was never a guy who complained about the lunch or complained about things like that because at the end of the day, my boss was Cameron Smith, not the PGA Tour. I was working PGA Tour events, but it wasn't him as such. And the way, since we've gone to live, the way that they were treated more as equals, as players, as part of, once you're almost a credentialed part of live, you are, part of the team or part of the family, I guess, or part of the tour.
Yeah.
And, it's there's no difference between,
Like player dining is caddy dining.
but it's dining. It's dining. That's
Right.
it. And parking is parking and that sort of thing. So it's been great in that sort of aspect to be treated like that. But again, I wouldn't say anything bad about the tour because at the end of the day, I was one of those guys who felt like your boss was your boss and that was it.
Independent contractor,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
probably not going to get on the scale of 1 to 100. These guys are probably a 1 compared to some that ever complaining. They never, I think people
I'm exactly
get
the same as-
so caught up in the micro.
Yeah.
The macro is your boss playing well, earning a
I'm
living.
the same as Benno. I'm not. The PGA Tour has been amazing to us, Marc and myself. In Marc's eyes, it was the best place for him to play golf, professional golf, and then in his eyes, that had now changed.
Yeah.
But when that question comes up, I always do say, it's a noticeable difference with live, but they're dealing with 48 guys, 48 players every
Sure.
week.
I was gonna bring
PGA
that
Tour
up.
has, most weeks full field, somewhere between 142 and 156. Double that with caddies, you've got coaches. It's a whole different ball game when you talk about getting everyone in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to think about
It's a different level of catering and
catering, pricing. But then even like if something goes wrong and there's an emergency, you're only allowed to have a certain amount of people in each room. So how many clubhouses have enough room for 400 people?
Right.
Like just little things like that people are quick to jump on. Same thing. I work for Marc. I don't work for Liv, and I didn't work for the tour.
Yeah.
Very grateful for both. And it's definitely a little bit of a step up.
Yeah.
But
all right.
I don't look at the tour as a bad one.
The macro is your boss and your team playing well, but there is I got to do the 1 week in Saudi Arabia, and it does feel so fun. Yeah. It's like a bloody junior tournament.
Dude,
everyone's hanging out, giving each other shit.
I am so freaking jealous of you guys both. I see that schedule, the places they're going, and I know what times they start. I know there's a lot of fun being had.
It's fun.
It's
fun to get your ticket. You wake up, you're heading to the airport, and I got to be careful because I just said I'm not going to rag on the tour, but it gets repetitive when you go into Memphis or you go into somewhere that
it's also individual. Like you are strictly individual. It's you and Leash.
Yeah.
It's like Cam's doing his thing and whatever. Ricky Fowler and Skovrin, but with Liv, it's not. It's like a true team thing.
Next trip, we flying out of Miami to Emirates through Dubai to Saudi, and it's just like you all of a sudden it's like. Yeah, that flight's going to be brutal, but it's also going to be fun because we're doing it all together.
Yeah, in first class.
And you go to Singapore, you go to Australia. Like, we do all this stuff. It's just, it's like reignited the flame a little bit.
100%.
Yeah. And the tournaments themselves are just, they are, the main purpose of the event staff is to make sure the fan has fun. Uh-huh. It has to be fun. It's a place to bring your kids. It's a place to go on a boys' trip. It's got to be fun for all ages and all aspects of life, and it ends up being more fun for all of us involved as well.
I've seen a couple of the old, I guess you put them at curmudgeon like journalists, and a couple of them have gone to Livs, and even they admit like the music and stuff, like they're like, oh, it's weird, but then by the time you're walking out the gate, it's good. It's a nice flow. It is cool.
Are you guys both? Have you both bought into the team thing? Like, is that? Can you feel it when you're out there? Like
100%.
Yeah,
100%. It's. I mean, I think it's one of the coolest parts of Liv that we've experienced so far in the first year and a bit. I mean, just the other day when Leish was up there and finishing. I mean, Matty and Leish have been great friends since when we said 15 years ago we started. And if they were going well in a PGA Tour event, we'd give it a little, come on, Leish, late in the Sunday. But now on the Sundays, come on, Leish.
Come on, dude.
Genuinely mean it. It means something for everyone.
Yeah, so that's so cool.
Yeah, and it is cool. And then, the team practice rounds, the team locker rooms, everything that sort of comes of it. And the boys are pretty close. Our team's cool in the fact that all 4 boys are the Australians, so there's general camaraderie there anyway. But it is cool. And sort of with the shotgun starts, it sort of gets you thinking late on a Sunday, hang on, what hole's Lee's finishing on? Oh, he's finishing on the first. Yeah. He's got a birdie chance there. So it's the whole aspect of it and everything like that. And sort of, I thought at the start I was going to be a bit of a side product, but it's not at all. It's the main thing.
What do you see the future of Liv, the immediate future being of Liv, like next 2 or 3 years?
I just see it kicking on and getting stronger and stronger from what it's been. I think they're working out where their markets are and what's popular and what's been good. I feel like most events have been good. Some have been better than others. But I just see them just kicking on and getting stronger.
Yeah.
And next year looks like it's going to be very similar to this year, and then 25 may be a little different. It seems like no one knows, but that's the path that it seems to be.
Yeah. From what we've been told, I don't think 24 will look any different. And then going forward, who knows from there? But but Peter's exactly right. It's amazing how often. With the golf tournament and the shotgun start when we first joined, I'm like, might be a bit quirky, but it's actually been one of the best parts about it. Cam is, obviously a big name player, so he's often in the first couple of holes, either the first hole, but you get, then there's Leish and then Jonesy and Jed, and you start thinking with a couple of holes to go, what hole? Like, it's amazing how often you check the team score and think about where they're at in terms of the holes on the golf course compared to yourself. Like, if Leish is 11 under and the lead is 16, we're 5 back. I don't care how many holes we have to go. We got to get going. But
I think what got lost with a little bit of the tour is the element of fun and team golf. Like, you look every year, the passion at the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup and even Zurich, the 2-man thing, is like, money is a big factor in people's lives, but so is fun. And once you have a lot of money, you want to be able to do both. So I think that's an enticing part, especially coming from Australia, a lot of team match play and stuff like that. And it's team pressure is a different type of pressure.
Yeah.
I've said this a few times here. I wish you could translate that to the audience. It's like, okay, so say for these guys, they're playing well. Jed's 4 under, Cam's 4 under, Matt Jones is 5 over, and Leish is 1 over. That's a nervous time to be 1 over because your score's counting.
Yeah.
And it makes you like a little sick in the stomach. Look, we're not in the trenches at Normandy, of course, but it's a different type of like nerves because you don't have your shit.
100%. I 100% agree.
Other
with that.
three other people are counting on you.
Yeah.
If you mess up, you can always live with yourself. Like, but it's interesting. It's hard to explain that.
It's like college golf. I totally
college golf. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Just playing with Billy in New Orleans, man. I could feel that guy staring a hole in my back while I'm over the ball. It's like, dude, just take a deep breath. What's gonna be all right?
And that's how do you like knowing what each player needs from your team, and how do you offer support, and if they're struggling, like what do you say? But
how do you keep your guy like when there's a small amount of time for you guys to make decisions on like, okay, do I step in here? He's running a little hot, or is this my time to get a word in? Shit's off right now. Like, do you just kind of know your guy and hop in whenever? Or?
I think that's where we're at a bit of an advantage because we worked for the same guy for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Little thing, like it happened a little bit last week. We teed off the 3rd, and 16 and 18 are probably 2 of the hardest holes in the course. So, and we got through those holes unscathed. So I remember on the first hole, now we've got 2 holes to go. They're both birdie holes, and I just had to get it through Leish's head. Like, come on, like there's still 2 holes to go. Let's not just relax now because you go from such you're on edge, and then I can relax now because I got 2 easy holes. No, you got to finish off the round. Like little things like that. If I sensed that, which I did, and I had to just drum it into him a little bit. Come on, mate. 2 holes to go. Full concentration here. Tiny little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because I've worked for him for so long, and I can sense it from him, and that's
you're kind of the same.
And but to your point, you definitely have a small amount of time. You got to pick your spots, but hopefully you should know when to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree with that. There. I mean, I feel like me and Cam play Cam and I play a pretty aggressive game out there. And I feel like I got the keys to a Ferrari every time we get in the first tee.
Yeah.
And just sort of basically just keep it going, keep it pointing in the right direction.
Keep it off the curbs.
Keep it off the curbs, and let's see what can happen today. And I mean, he likes to go quick. He likes to play quick and be aggressive.
It's a fast walker too.
Yeah, fast walker, everything. And we like to. So I've just got to make sure. I always try to make sure my speech and everything I deliver is always positive. It's always direct. It's always quick.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the last thing he wants to hear is sort of me. Oh, hang on, because he'll back off and look at me with a pretty stern.
Why are you
look.
hesitant?
And I've got to make sure when I deliver it, it's bang, bang, bang. The 2 or 3 things I want to say.
Yeah.
They're positive. They're direct, and go. And we'll live and die by the results. And we have. A lot of in certain ways, but it's a lot of fun to deal with when you're just sort of loading up the Ferrari and let's see what happens.
What about when you get to the range and you can just sort of sense that something's under his skin? Like, in either guy, because we all have families.
We're all humans. Yeah,
we all have shit going.
All of a sudden, I need a
duck.
I feel with Cam, I just have my go-to conversations. The rugby league, cars are the 2 big ones with Cam, and sports and New Zealand Australian sports in general. And just to switch him off, and then, I mean, he's pretty exciting, pretty fun to work for. So,
it depends on your guy too. I mean,
very different.
Like working for Leish, he's the nicest, most laid back human in the world. So it's very rare for him to be on edge or agitated. And same thing, if I can sense that, now it's my job to make him laugh or crack a joke and get him back to normal. And sometimes that might also mean leaving him alone for 10 minutes and coming back. And so.
You guys talk much. Is he a Hawthorn man?
Richmond. We're
you're both Richmond.
Both
sorry.
Richmond, we're done for this year.
Both of you guys have had success at St. Andrews. Matty, you guys lost in a playoff?
Playoff,
in 15?
Yeah, we had a putt on the 72nd hole, but then we went to a playoff. And
can you just run through the feelings in your body for me, like the last couple holes?
So funny. Weird thing about that week is we only made the cut. I think we made the cut with 1 shot up our sleeve.
Yeah.
So we weren't running anywhere. And then Saturday was a washout. So we had a whole day of nothing.
Yeah.
And
you were having some fun.
We enjoyed ourselves for sure.
I remember that week.
Yeah.
Was that the wind?
It was
It was wind, yeah.
I was on the tip. I was on 11 when they blew the horn out there.
Yeah.
11 par 3. Unbelievable.
For the
highest point on the course,
unbelievable.
elevation
dude.
of 7 feet. But it is. That's very exposed.
So I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't 100% when I showed up Sunday morning for round 3. Let's just say that. And I remember Leish's first shot, just a casual little wedge shank straight over into the crowd over there.
What are the odds you're going to be in a playoff or have a putt to win the Open?
So then he goes out and he plays unbelievable. I think he shot 64 on the third round, and then it was a bit of a mad rush out. We couldn't extend our house, so there was Sam and I, Joe, I think Bussy was in the house. We're all trying to find somewhere to stay, and Leisha's like, I got 2 beds in my room, come stay with me. We had this amazing steak dinner at the restaurant downstairs at the Oak Course Hotel. Actually got a text from my wife Stephanie that she was pregnant that day.
Shit.
So our firstborn was going to be born. Like, it was just all coming together. I'm like, this is out of my hands. Like, we've got 15th club up there looking out for us.
Right?
Yeah. You are real. Holy shit.
So you're a sick human.
Got off to another great start, and I remember Leish hit a putt we were on the front. I think he hit driver 3 on the front of the 17th green. I mean, he had 80 feet. And I'm 10 in the flag.
What a hole.
And he hit this putt, and from 15 feet out, I'm like, oh, it's in. Like, I just got to get it. Flag was out of the hole. I almost rolled over the road in front of the crowd because it somehow missed. And then we had a decent look on the 18th and just didn't quite make it, and then off to a playoff. But, I think you're kidding yourself if you think that it doesn't enter your mind about what potentially is about to happen.
Yeah.
Might win.
At St.
Andrews. And
do you know my theory, not to get my theory on why Cam is because I think that enters his mind less than other guys. Call me crazy. I've never spoken to him about it. I don't know if you don't even need to comment it, but I just think he just wants to beat that guy.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it may be coming to Leish's head until maybe if it did, it was after we'd finished and we still had 30 minutes to wait until the other groups at that point maybe. But
I totally see what you're saying, but I just don't think there's any human on the planet that couldn't.
I'm not saying it doesn't come into his head.
That could block that out.
Yeah. No, not blocking it out.
You're teeing off 18 there with a 1-shot lead. It has to enter your head.
Yeah,
I'm about to win a major at St. Andrews. You're in history, and these guys are. You guys. Unbelievable week.
Yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable week right from the start. Friday round, I think he held every single putt we looked at.
Really?
He just was boxing from everywhere. Then we teed off Saturday. I mean, I think we teed off at 3:20 or 3:30 in the afternoon on Saturday there. I mean, you got to wait all day. I mean, he played just as good as he played on the Friday. He just didn't hold a putt.
That's normally about race 4 or race 5, 3:30 on Saturday.
And I think we 3-putted the first for a bogey and never got anything going. Rory and Victor were in the group in front of us. They were making everything. They're just chance of Rory around the crowd. Around the crowd. And I mean, I think we struggled through the back 9. And I mean, one of the biggest things that will always stick with me is I'm not sure we bogeyed or parred 16. We're in the middle of the 17th fairway on Saturday. And he just sort of looked at me and sort of gave me a little whack on the shoulder. And he said, don't worry, we had to give these guys 4 shots head start, didn't we? Right? And I was just like, I mean, that comes from a guy. I think we're 2 and 3 in front at the start of the day. We're now 4 behind.
Yeah.
And he hits you and says that. I mean, I don't know if there's any other professional in the world who has that attitude. We finished, did some work, and then turned up Sunday. And I mean, it's been a bit of a common trait for a few of our wins that we've been 3 or 4 back starting the last round. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the best thing for Cam. He just gets the bit between the teeth and just knows he's got one option and to make a ton of birdies. And he played awesome through that first 9 without getting much reward. And then, I mean, once we turned on 10, we birdied 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And, I mean, that all happened kind of, so, I mean, we birdied 10, 11, 12 as a whole, you're expecting to maybe birdie, and then 13 was a bonus, 14 you're expecting to birdie, and he hit a putt up there and tapped in, and we sort of had a good 5 minutes while Cam Young was finishing out, and there's a leaderboard sitting right at us, and I think we're 1, if not, I think we're 1 in front then. It was just like, wow, here we go. I mean,
hit it over the back on 14, which was the play, and Rory finished short, which was a much harder shot.
It was a great option. And then, I remember standing there. You can see the clubhouse from that 15th tee, and I was like, we just got to get in. And I think it felt like the job we did to get in there was amazing. And I mean, standing on that 18th tee, that up and down 17 was, so I'll never forget that. I mean,
filthy.
He hit that second shot in there, and it just, as soon as he hit it, we were trying to do the right thing. We were trying to play a little short, little right, and he just pulled that 9-iron, and as soon as he hit it, he's like, pulled it, and then sort of...
1% pull you down there.
He tapped me.
Well, you know a pull goes further than me.
Yeah.
It's just like there's so many things.
He looked at me and said, that's not good down there, is it? I said, nope. And then we walked up, and I was taking time, and he walked up, and I mean, just did the right option, and then I'll never forget when he sort of hold that putt and then sort of charged in the next tee. And I think the best thing about the next tee was we had a little debate early in the week. It was playing so far downwind. There was in between sort of like a 3-wood and a 2-iron to get near the front. Where that day it wasn't enough help. There was nothing better. Just, I mean, I said you can hit driving, hit as hard as you like, and that was the best thing for it. And then I saw where Rory's second shot landed on 17.
Yeah, were you guys walking off the tee?
We were walking off the tee, and I knew the situation, and obviously the crowd went wild. And then by the time that we got up to the green and Cam was lining up his putt, Cam didn't see any of this, but he was literally in the middle of his routine, and I could see Rory over the ball. And on 17 green, I saw him hit the putt, and I just remember thinking in my head, no roar, no roar, no roar, no roar.
Yeah.
I heard the crowd like, oh. And then literally as the crowd...
What a feeling. What a feeling.
I've been doing cartwheels.
Right?
No Rory.
As the crowd went, Cam took the putter back and hit his putt, and it's come up out of the valley, up over the hill, and it was a
amazing
putt,
yeah.
And it was rolling up. I was like, go on. It's finished up like a foot and a half in the hole. I was like, we just won the Open. put my head down, was trying to gather myself. He marked,
oh my God.
Marked and walked over to me, and I was sort of keeping a straight face, like, nice putt, mate, nice putt. Just sort of keeping it as simple as. And then he obviously, Cam Young hold his, which actually put a little bit more heat on Cam.
That was incredible.
It was a foot and a half, 2-foot putt, but he still had to make it. And
the last thing
Birdie,
you want is any extra.
Sure.
Well, hold on. John Lamonti's a buddy of ours, and he did caddy for Birdie Kim. And I hope you weren't thinking, no Birdie Kim.
No.
Sorry, Birdie.
And he banged it in, and then he looked straight up at me, and he's like, what's the deal? I said, Rory's got to make 2 to tie. And he kind of gave me a little smile. I mean, that walk there from over that scoring area was a pretty amazing feeling. And obviously the next hour or so afterwards was pretty surreal. So, I mean, what a place to
he lets out
win a major.
A custard, I think, when he holds it. Like, fuck yes.
He was pretty happy. So
we were all happy. That was
how was the two things? So just obviously people deal with stress or whatever, and I've caddied a couple of times, and I feel like you do feel as much, maybe more, maybe less in the player because you have no control, but. Like, how was the saliva in your mouth in those last few holes?
Yeah, mine was struggling. I was just trying to do my best to
feed
it goes missing, doesn't it?
Before?
Yeah, big night before. Yeah. Feed in the water ball as much as possible and keep talking. But we actually talked the whole way up the 18th hole about Cam's got a tradition in Australian Rugby League is a Mad Monday party, which is the end of season dress-up party.
Yeah.
And we're planning it already coming up and before the event. And we talked about the Mad Monday party. I reckon we talked about it on 4 of the last 5 holes in St Andrews, and we just kept talking about. We're walking up 18.
Well, he didn't do too well that party.
Shows how stupid caddying is.
He was in
bed the biggest moment of player's career, and you're talking about a silly party that's going to happen.
You got it though.
But that's exactly what we're talking about before. Is
anything to
he's reading his player. He knows he needs to take an edge off him. And
can we talk about the racehorses you guys own? How are those going?
Well, I own one with him, which has been...
I'm obsessed with this, by the way, and I'm a little pissed off I never got invited.
It's still alive.
Hold on. I own another one with him. You should be lucky.
I think this question should be directed at Sam.
Really?
I own one. He has about 7 or 8. So
it sounds like a blast, dude. If you can watch your horse run, I mean, that's got to be fun as shit.
We did in Columbus.
Yeah, me and Matty had one in Columbus. Actually, it was a second starter. It was called Danger Strikes.
Yeah.
And Cam was.
Did you come up with the name?
No, we didn't. It was at the memorial event on a Friday night in a bar, and Cam was with us, and it actually won. And I mean, we're talking a $30,000 race in New Zealand. So I mean, we might have got 18,000 stake, and we own maybe 5% each of this horse.
Yeah.
And I mean, so we're talking hundreds of dollars.
We won more. We won more gambling on it than the horse won itself.
Sure.
And we were jumping around, shouting champagne and everything. Cam's like, you don't get this excited when we win an event.
Which is true. We acted like 10-year-olds.
Cam won't do it either. I think Des has put something in the brain there that
he won't let him. He won't let him buy a horse.
He's not really into it though, which is fair enough.
We've got Cam to bite. Cam is in the market with
let's go.
A good friend of ours, Jason McDonald. He's currently looking for a horse.
Let's go.
For us to invest in, but
his budget's a little different than ours.
So, which is going to help us.
He's going to buy a stable.
What do your horses look like?
I mean, they're good-looking horses. I just had a first starter the other day. I had a good first starter there called Kingston Heath.
Yeah.
And then
in Australia?
In New Zealand. And I got another first starter coming up that's going to be called Sawgrass.
Oh.
So
You have got a good tradition with your
yeah.
dad.
My dad got me into it a long time ago, and he named them all after golf courses.
Oh.
So I'm trying to keep the tradition going in the family. So it's
Nice.
a bit of fun. And I only percentage them, but it's a bit of fun. It's just, Price will contest this, and Matty, it's a big thing in New Zealand and Australia. It's part of the culture.
It's
Really?
like
It's what you do.
custom,
It's what you do on a Saturday afternoon.
Australia,
Yeah.
if it's Saturday racing, there will be at a minimum 20 race events going around the country.
So
And if you're not having a bet at all, which you'll be the odd one out.
Really?
I'll explain the other day.
it's
So
just
from
culture,
12 till 6 or 12:30, 5:30, you got
Want to go spend like a month over there.
you got Sydney,
Come on
Melbourne,
down.
you got Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, and then a couple in New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
Don't
All
forget about Shah 10.
That's later, Shah Tin or Happy Valley. But you've got them, and they're running every like 4 to 5 minutes because they're all 45 minutes,
Yeah.
but they time it perfectly. And like my dad, for 40, 50 years, goes down the pub, doesn't go to race one, but like 2 o'clock to 5:30, he's down there,
betting the races?
takes his couple $100, bets $20 a horse, has a skinful, six schooners or something, and then comes home and either comes home with nothing, but he's paid for his entertainment, or he comes home and with a win and buys Chinese food or a stereo or something, maybe an auction item that we didn't need.
That's awesome.
But it is really part of the custom on a Saturday
yeah.
at the golf
So
club.
it's like college football here.
Pretty well, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
There's
certain
nothing
times
better than betting horses with your buddies.
No.
It's really tough to beat.
Yeah, well, then you go to the actual
Especially when you're
races
winning.
and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
even fun.
if you'll put in
More
a
fun.
certain amount of money and then you chip away each bet, yeah, that's the best.
God, dangerous, slippery slope though, man.
No.
Slippery
Bit
slope.
of self-control.
Not when you're Sam Pinfold.
Yeah. What's that? What is that? What did you just say? Self control.
Yeah, self-control.
Okay.
A little bit.
Who
You do, you go-
who invented that?
Yeah.
I will say you go through plenty of spurts where we won't bet for a few months.
Yeah.
That you actually do have self control.
Oh, a little bit.
You do.
Yeah, we're needed.
Going back to the British Open last year, I normally text these guys, how's he going? And I text you after the Scottish Open. I think you guys played pretty good in the final round, maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe played bad.
We battled hard on the Friday afternoon to make the cut, and then played really nicely over the Saturday and Sunday.
And I said, how's he looking for this week? And he just wrote back one word, great. And then normally, there's a bit of explanation. Oh, yeah. It was just great. So that was pretty
That's when you know.
Knows his horse.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys? One more event this year?
Yeah, we're we're a week and a half more off, and then we go to Saudi.
That
for
you
the
gotta
last-
love that, by the way.
Yeah.
The weeks off,
Leish told me at the start of the year,
especially if you got kids.
his first year joining, he's going to really enjoy playing no events. So we
Yeah.
haven't played any international series. He's going to play 16 events for the whole year.
Wow.
And then next year he said, I just want to go a year and experience it. And then, but he even said, I can tell straight away we're going to play a few extra next year, but it'd be no more than 20. But yeah, so we go to Saudi for the last
Individual event.
individual event. And then next week, the week after that is Miami for the team
Yeah.
championship. And then, then we're done. And the boys will both play at least one or two in Australia at the end of the year.
Has Leish confirmed? He doesn't know yet, but he's going over there.
He's going to go home. Yeah, he's most likely going to. He's assured we're going to play the PGA, and then
Yeah.
after that, he's not sure.
But not Hong Kong or anything.
No, we're not doing any of that. No.
Yeah.
What the same for you?
Yeah, we're playing Hong Kong.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, international series. So
You know what? Hong Kong has two big horse race tracks, Sha Tin and Happy Valley.
you
feel like I did know
you
that.
know where I'll be on the Wednesday night.
Really?
Sharton or Happy Valley.
Happy Valley looks like unbelievable. It looks like Mooney Valley times
Yeah,
10.
they race there on the Wednesday nights and Sundays, so I think I'll make the Wednesday night for sure.
See, he already knows.
This guy. Oh,
He's busy Sunday.
I love
Macca-
it. You're so well traveled. I mean, I feel like I am, and then when I look at you, I'm like, man, if I could just get stuck in Asia with Penner for about 2 months, see if any one of us will come out alive.
New Zealand and Australia is where you want to get, mate. You'll love it down there.
I've been. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love you guys. You're the best. You're the freaking best.
Especially over Christmas time where the weather's nice. and
Yeah.
Everyone's just in a good mood.
Isn't that when the tournaments are down there?
Yeah, they are.
It is the best time to go. We were supposed to go in June this year, and my parents were like, they haven't seen their grandkids, and I was just forwarded, and I was like, look, I booked a ticket for December.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no fun to be had in June, is there? With your family and that, but Christmas time, it's Australians flip, don't they?
Yeah.
At Christmas, everyone's in a good mood.
Do they have Monday qualifiers for this tournament?
Yes,
They
Australian
You
Open. they
just said to
definitely
tell
do.
Cam, hey, get me a spot.
Absolutely.
You just need to tell me Aaron Price. You'd be straight.
Yeah.
I mean, these
You'll probably
days,
be in the featured
these
group.
days around Ponte Vedra, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, you'd
bud.
be in the
Yeah.
featured group.
That's nuts. Can't get myself in. I wouldn't want to embarrass myself.
All right, we got a couple of questions from the internet for you guys before we get you out of here. Matty, you ready? You're up first.
I'm up first.
Is Leishman Lager any good?
So there's two.
Okay.
The one in the US is different to the one in Australia. The one in Australia is like a mid-strength. I wouldn't call it a light beer like you guys have over here, but it's somewhere between that and a heavy beer, and it is very, very good.
You
Okay.
can drink
The
a
one
lot
in
of
the
them.
the one in
They're
the that's brewed over here. It's just I think because a lot of people like IPAs, it's a little stronger and stuff. It's not for me.
Okay.
Bit fruity, bit strong, but the one in Australia is it's really good.
These aren't from the internet. These are from my friends.
You don't have any friends.
Also, Sammy, which hangover hurt more, the Players or the Open?
Ooh. Oh.
I did hear a little mini story that I won't leak, but
From which one?
maybe need a little help
From
after the British Open. Maybe helpful.
Yeah,
that's expected. To get back to the
Oh, of
house.
course.
Greg Herman.
It's a badge. It's a badge of honour.
Yeah.
Greg Herman's nickname is Helpful, Adam Scott's caddy. He did help me home from the Old Course Hotel I was staying in that week. I don't remember much about the journey home.
Yeah.
I have seen a
But
video.
I had the
have seen
helpful home earlier that week.
Have
too,
you
so-
seen surveillance footage?
see?
I have seen a
These
video
guys are a
myself.
team. They are a team.
I saw a video of myself in the Old Course Hotel, and he was right to take me home. I think I still had the bib on and the flag hand in my back pocket.
That's
But,
respect.
That's so cool.
I mean, it was a pretty surreal feeling.
Like you guys are.
Yeah. I'll tell you one about that hangover. We're being in St Andrews. We stayed in St Andrews. There was nowhere to park the car, so we parked the car in caddy parking, which is alongside the driving range in St Andrews all week.
Yeah.
And so I woke up. I mean, I think I had about 11 a.m. flight out of Edinburgh. Woke up about 6:37 in the morning. Beautiful St Andrews morning, and had to walk from our house to the parking lot to get the car. And I mean, the sun was shining. Well, I actually cut across the 18th green, across the first fairway, and up on the leaderboard still said, "Congratulations, Cameron Smith, champion golfer of the year."
Fuck, that's
See you
surreal.
in Liverpool. And
Might have been better.
I was talking to my mates on the phone and FaceTime. I was like, "Look at that!" And it's still up on the thing.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to walk across the next morning and do all that. So
Yeah.
I mean, the hangover was pretty rough, but it was worth it. But we had a couple of pretty good. We had a couple of pretty good weeks after that. A couple of pretty good weeks off. But yeah, we won great Friday night. We all went fishing as a crew. Matty, his dad, Billy Horschel was on the boat.
Yeah.
We had a great time. The big party at Cam's house. So there was sort of a celebration we won't forget for a long time.
Yeah.
The
That's
the
awesome.
players was little low key. I was happened to be there in Sharon and that were over, so it was low key.
That's more expected, that one.
I'd say a good one. A good one. A good one
I was
was
always going to win this event.
Yeah.
a good one was Zurich when you guys won
Yeah.
Zurich when we went back. And
Yeah.
You guys had the bibs on still at midnight. People
ju-
jumping off the roof.
Jumping off the.
Jumping into the
dock.
intercoastal.
Yeah.
The
That
roof
was
of what?
hilarious.
The roof of Cam's dock.
Cam's, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in New Orleans
No,
somewhere.
no. We flew home that night.
No, but they were back at like 7 p.m. It was like 20
Yeah.
minutes of media straight on a plane back.
We're lucky enough to fly with Cam a fair bit on the old private jets, and we flew there on the Tuesday morning.
You lucky dogs.
And
You
we
lucky-
flew
you
there
guys,
on
you
It
both
is-
got like two of the best gigs
We
ever. by the
flew there
way.
on the Tuesday morning.
Possibly the two best.
We said to
humans
Cam,
ever.
Cam, if you boys win this week, me and Matty will pay for the flight back.
No, you did.
We still never
We
have.
still haven't paid. And we're still not going to pay.
He brings it up every time.
That's so
Credit.
good.
Those are IOUs. Those are as good as cash.
Dude, it's for me. Every time I look at you now, dude, it's like you are in history forever.
The 150th Australian won the 100th too. That's crazy. Peter story. I don't know if the Australians know. Peter Thompson, who won 5 British Opens, he had passed away a couple of years before, but they hadn't been able to get back COVID. His son sprinkled his ashes on the 18th green that morning on Sunday when Cam won.
Did Cam know that?
He didn't until after.
He did definitely did after.
Press, you're like a historian.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. But I just there was
You got the voice for it
story.
too. Like if that was a video, he could over.
It'd be really good
Yeah,
at
it'd
it.
be good.
Narrate it.
Tom Selleck.
You are Tom Selleck right now. Fuck.
I got a head like a half
ball
Jude,
of sex over there.
head like a half Jude Minty.
You got anything else? You guys got anything else?
Well, okay, I got one little nugget
What we got?
for Pinner. People may not know about Pinner. Pinner, different road to Matty, as we spoke about. Best buddies with Leish, came over as a holiday, and of course, Leish was talented. I had two quick stories. But the Pinner one, people don't know who Pinner has caddy for. Pinner did caddy for Justin Thomas when he first came out.
Did he really?
That is correct. Yeah.
Good trade.
And the story with Matty is how Leish got his card. We had played all year. Midland's normally later in the year, September, October.
Yeah.
Leish wasn't doing. He wasn't terrible, but I would guess he was 50th on the money list.
He was
right?
He's gonna keep his card. Yeah.
We had 2 weeks off. Maybe I had 1 week off. Maybe Leish took another one. 2 weeks, comes back. The story is, I don't know if it's true, is the zippers didn't get pulled back when he was in Australia for 2 weeks. Comes over, unzips them, wins by. Actually, I think like bogeyed 2 of the last 3 to win by 9 or 10
He bogeyed both the last 2 holes to win by 11.
at Midland, and that was
Midland.
enough to like
I
wrap his
remember that
card up.
year.
Yeah. Finished second in Salt Lake City a week or 2 before, and then won by 11, and that pretty much locked up
That
his
night,
card.
hold on, you do remember that year because I finished 3rd that year. You know, that was enough to get my card the same year, and we got delayed at Dallas Airport.
Yeah.
We missed our connection when he stayed in a room together.
That's
I
right.
didn't sleep for 2 nights, so I was like finally going to the tour or whatever. I roomed with you.
Yeah.
I had a Valium and I still couldn't sleep.
Pussy. Unbelievable.
I mean,
Historian, see?
I'm not a historian. My memory actually sucks, but I can remember the odd thing. I'm not going to remember that. That was and in the end, I still didn't have my card. I played pretty well the next 5 weeks, and
I will say, I remember I looking back on it. I mean, Leish finished I think 11th at Tour School, and he finished 19th. At the Miami, the last Tour Championship event. Finished 11th, and he got his card, but he was 19th out of the 25. So there was.
I was 18th. We were locked, but we weren't.
Yeah,
Like
we
all these
probably
people from behind us started playing good. It
Yeah.
was nuts, stressful. Leish went on to make tons. I made 1% of what Leish made. Actually, not that good.
Hey, you're climbing the ranks now, dude.
Yeah, right.
You're climbing the
I'm
ranks.
just I'm pretending.
Real estate mogul.
He would have probably finished about 89th on the FedEx this year.
Penner's top
No
10
way.
this year on the FedEx Cup.
I love that. God, how good is it? How good is it when your
He's
guy
got playing
wins
privilege.
$4 million every other week?
It is a bit unfair when the Golf Digest come up with like who earned what this year that they don't include caddies
Right?
because they should.
I mean, if Cam wakes up, he's finishing 12th or better out there, right?
So I think we're still sleeping last week then.
Oh, really? What'd you finish?
40th.
What?
Yeah. Tough week.
What's going on? Did
5
you
weeks.
piss him off, Pressy?
5 weeks off. Bit rusty.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll be right.
He's got 18 million to win next week in Jeddah.
We'll be right.
Is that what it
There's
is?
a bit of a
Individual win,
little bit
yeah.
more of a game on now.
Wait, an individual wins 18 mil?
It's
No.
the end of season thing, yeah. So, yeah, the winner's 18. I think the second 12.
When is the relegation gonna start kicking in out there?
This next Jeddah.
Who's getting the boot right now?
So
Majestics.
no,
No,
it's
no.
not team. It's the
Individual.
bottom
Oh, it's
four
only
individual.
individual.
Yeah, and then there's talk about a play-in tournament and all this sort of stuff, which I think they're still trying to finalize everything. But then you'll have 3 new guys come up, and then the season-long international series
Yeah.
winner will get the spot. So 4 in, 4 out, and then
Best live concert so far.
Fisher, Australia.
Okay,
Oh,
other
yeah.
than him.
And he's playing Miami, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Other than him.
The Zach Brown band at Greenbrier was pretty good.
Yeah.
They were pretty good.
Didn't
Yeah.
the
What's up,
Saudis have a
buddies?
concert? Who was down there last year?
Oh,
when
that
we
was
were
me.
there. Who was it?
Shaggy.
Shaggy.
I gotta
That
tell
was
this story.
the
I gotta tell this
story.
story.
Aaron was the only one of that out of the whole team.
Nuh-uh.
The whole team.
Oh,
nuh-uh.
1 week.
I flew in.
You
so-
guys didn't go to that with him?
No.
Quick
No.
story. Matt Jones texted me on the Saturday. He's like, "Hey, my caddy has to have eye surgery back in the States. Can you get over it?" And I was like, "All right." So I got there Monday night, maybe midnight. Go out. We had that practice round. It was so
It's
hot.
the hottest I've ever been on a golf course.
It's hot. It's hotter in Saudi at 9 a.m. than it is at 3 p.m. It's just bullshit hot.
Yeah.
So I go back, relax, and then Aussie Brian's like, "Hey, come to the boat for a few beers." Sure.
Which boat?
There's a boat just parked off.
It's the only way to drink.
It's the owner's
in
boat.
Saudi.
The owner's
It's
boat.
the only way you can get alcohol in the whole country.
That's why I said which boat.
It's in international water.
The
yeah.
left one or the right one?
Not the one that's floating off out at sea.
All right.
So we go on. I have 3 beers. I'm tired, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit the head." And he's like, "Oh, you got to stay now. Shaggy's about to do a concert." And I was like, "You're a fucking idiot." He goes, "No, I'm telling you, they just got a text that the Shaggy's coming." I was like, "I'll bet you whatever." He goes, "Have one more beer, and if he's not, I'll give you $100." So I have half a beer, and then Shaggy and the little guy that does the choruses or the verses is there with him too. And he gets up. There's probably 50 people on this boat. And Shaggy just starts busting out. It wasn't me.
No way.
Mr. Lover. It was unbelievable. I tell you who was enjoying that is Graham McDowell's trainer buddy.
Yeah.
Matt.
He was enjoying that.
Really?
But
Were
it was
there
cool.
any players
cool.
enjoying it?
DJ was there and Coke Rack. But no, it was all tame. That thing's very tame.
Yeah. Who's the most hated team out there?
Ooh.
You don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer it.
Nah, fuck, we got to answer.
I
I think hated is probably the wrong word, but like jealous would be like 4 aces. Are like you just want to beat them
They're just
they win
because they're the
every year.
best. You know, they've won it.
that brute American power.
Yeah.
Where, like,
And
I feel
for
like
us being internationals, you want to beat those
Yeah.
Americans for
And
sure.
like and Torquay, like they've won now 4 events.
Is
Yeah.
it Torque?
I
Torquay.
would say it Torque, but they keep saying Torquay, so I would just say that.
Yeah, I think the way they want to pronounce it.
But you don't have that same not hatred, but you don't have that same thing towards them because they haven't won the whole thing yet. So
Yeah.
I would say 4 aces, more of jealousy probably than anything else. Like you just want to beat them. But
I actually do love when Arlo White says the Crushes.
The Crushers.
So good. He's so great in Ted Lasso. Like you can't not like that guy.
Last
Arlo
year,
White.
that team event in Miami and the one that's coming up in a few weeks, the way they did it with 2 singles matches and a foursomes match
Yeah.
was, I mean, it was, you just got to win 2 points out and you go on, and if you're not, you're knocked out. It was awesome last year. It
Same
was
format this year?
Same format.
I was there last
and the
year.
captains
So
has to
cool.
play. Captains have to play each other.
Yeah, it was so cool. I mean, just what a way to play. You need 2 points. You need 2 wins out of the 3, and you're through, and the other team's off
Yeah,
home.
Jonesy and Wade were
It-
playing
yeah,
best ball.
It was awesome.
That was good. That was
It
fun
was
to
awesome.
watch.
So so Cam has to play
Cam
that.
has to play singles.
singles.
Yeah, the captains play the captains no matter what.
And then we'll wait and see after that. We don't let it any team strategy.
Yeah,
Love
we'll keep that secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Last
I like
year-
that.
Yeah.
Might throw a little spanner in the works this year. We'll see.
Oh, yeah? Is there strategy behind it? Like, do you send out like the guy that's chopping? If you got a guy that's chopping on your team, do you send him in the?
Last year was pretty clear because Jonesy and Wade played the same ball.
Okay.
So they went out in the foursomes, and they did a good job. But I mean, it's just so quick. I mean,
Golf's such a weird
Yeah.
game. I mean, even if you're struggling, you could peel off
beat
a
anyone
win out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
we on the Saturday to get into the final day. We played Sergio, and I think we're 2 down with 3 to go. But the position we were on the third last tee, we knew Leish was 1 up playing this par 3, and we could see him tee off the next tee. We saw him tee off still with the honor, so we're fist pumping that he was still 1 up, and then we knew Jonesy and Wade were heading down this par 4. I think 1 up or square.
Yeah.
And so we knew if we saw them coming back that they'd won the match, and that was the 2 points locked in basically. And I mean, Cam hit the tee shot on 1 hole, and all we were doing was staring back down the other way
Yeah.
to see if we could see the. When we saw them come back up over the hill, and we were fist pumping and cartwheeling down the fairway, our match didn't matter. We were through. You know,
Right.
it was great.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's much like a President's Cup or a Ryder Cup, I guess, when you worry about the team.
So
but
those
that was
matches
great.
can't tie.
no
ties.
cannot tie, no ties.
I love that.
Mm.
Is that when didn't Cam beat Phil in that last year?
Yeah, we beat
Yeah.
Phil 1 up on the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leash actually talked
Phil,
about that
Phil
last
was
week.
like, I swear that was an interesting time. That guy was defeated on the first tee.
Yeah.
He loves Cam. He's like, maybe he's trying to play reverse psychology. Phil plays games, but that was interesting. I was like, and Cam's pretty good at, when he has a bee in his bonnet. And I don't know if Phil was, but he doesn't like to lose. So
Leash actually talked about that last week because Cam had like 10 feet to win. And he's like, how good is it sitting down knowing
He's gonna make it.
Cam Smith has 10 feet to win? He's like, there's nothing to worry about.
It's nothing.
It's like I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
Dude, the back 9 at St. Andrews. Like, I never once thought he was gonna miss that putt on 17 for par. Never once,
Yeah.
dude.
but in saying that, like he putted poorly on Saturday. It's
Yeah, he has his days, but I mean, more often than not, I mean, he's a great putter. So
And the bigger the occasion, it seems he seems to lock in even more.
he is. Our Lance is one of his biggest attributes. He grows a massive set of balls under the pump. Unlike a lot of guys who maybe shy away and use any excuse they can, I'd rather see him, tied going down last hole or one up going down last hole than 2 or 3 or 5 in front starting a day. He just loves the fight. He's a bulldog. And
he's not going to come out and no offense to people that are loud, like Pat Perez, you're not going to hear it. He's very inwardly confident and doesn't use a mask of sort of insecurity to tell people how good he is.
Leish has been that way. We've often talked about it with like the 1 or 2 sports psychs he's used, but it's like, how do we get Leish's best golf comes when it matters most. Like the best shot he'll hit for the week would be coming down the 72nd hole when he needs to make birdie. And it's like, how do you get as close to that Thursday morning or Friday morning? But
so hard.
But it's
that started in 09.
It's contrived or not fake, but it's a way harder than it is.
That started in 09 to get into the Tour Championship.
Yeah.
That's like he needed to do that and he did it.
Well, like this weekend just gone, we're finishing on the first hole, which is a short par 4 in the middle of fairway. And we thought he had to hold a wedge shot. And he hits this shot that goes one bounce and he got within half a foot of the hole and then spun back down. But it's like in the air, it was like, oh my gosh, that thing looks so good.
A lot of similarities between those two boys, isn't there?
You guys, when I earlier said you got 2 great gigs, you really do. I mean, you got 2 world-class players and they don't live at the golf course.
Nah.
No,
that's right.
2 of the best blokes, 2 of the most generous blokes.
Great dudes.
Yeah, they are.
And then once it's all done, everything for the day, they just want to crack a beer and have a yarn and don't drag anything from the golf course from the day.
How nice is that?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it gives you more confidence to do your job better the next day.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
A little different from a LPGA bag, not wearing out the range. That's for sure. It's good.
I got nothing on that. All right.
I was trying to provoke. Didn't work.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, guys. That
Cheers,
was
boys.
awesome.
Cheers.
Hey, come in
Thank
more
you.
when you're back in town. I know you're leaving in October. You'll
Love
be
that.
around. You
This
come in whenever you want.
Yeah,
Doors
perfect.
open, dude.
Love to.
All right.
Thank you.
You think Cam can for real get me a spot in the Australian Open?
Probably.
If he can't, Aaron Price can. Between those two, you'll be in a marquee pairing.
Jeez.
They might give you the trophy now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just hoping they let me in December when I come back with my kids.
They will.
I'm chopped liver over there.
Your roast beef.
Cam Smith's not.
See ya.
Cheers,
All right,
boys.
cheers.
Thank you.